everyone, it's Kay from the Paper Shed. Hope you're all doing well. Thanks for coming back and joining me. I'm back with the White Rose Detective Agency Chapter 2, The Case of the Peculiar Butler, and we're on week 3. Wow, we're halfway. So we've had an amazing response, and I can't thank you all enough for all the pictures and the videos and everything else that you're posting. It's just been amazing to see everybody's makes. So keep up the good work, guys. We're on to the interesting bit now, which is the suspects and evidence section. So last week we did the second signature, and it turned out to be pretty chunky. So I'm quite happy with it, and I'm okay with the contents and what's in it. I'm just aware that we're going to need to keep the others fairly low on bulk. Is that the right word? So this week I've prepped my signature, and because this is the most interesting week so far, I think, because it's where you get to sort of hear all about the story. So I've set my pages up. There's quite a few storylines to this now, because obviously you need the stories behind each suspect. So we've got several pages of stories. I haven't done anything to it yet. I've actually done something to my hand and it's quite painful. So I'm struggling a little bit with using my right hand. So, but we're going to carry on and move forward. So what I've done is I've cut everything out. I've also taken a few bits that I think I may need just to add in places, but I've added 10 pages to this journal. Let me just stick those in there. I've added 10 pages in because I needed to put these pages in. So there's 10 altogether and all I've done is use the kit pages, and then I've used tea-dyed paper to put the storyline on. I've sorted out all of the pictures and stuff that I need to go with each of the suspects in order, so that I know what I've got to work with. And so as the storyline goes on, like here, I may put a little pocket on here. The rest I will leave as writing space. Maybe do something on there. So I'm sort of leaving it as just a plainish journal with just all the information crammed in. So I will add little bits, but they'll need to be flat bits. I've got my centre page here, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that yet. So that's sort of where we are. Like I said, I've cut everything out, and I just need to back some things. I'm aware that we're going to need ID cards. We're going to need some evidence things. We've got fingerprint cards. If you've read the story already, then you will see that there is letters. So I've picked out some letters or correspondence, and some writing paper there, some more there. I'm not saying I will use these, but these are from the kits that I'm using as the extra bits. So we're going to be sort of looking at that. And so I want to add in some evidence info. I want to add in maybe a suspect card. Maybe if you've seen Mandy's video, you'll see that she has done all of these in preparation for you. And I'm also looking at doing a suspect board, which I'm thinking of putting here. So I'm going to go away and I'm going to ink and I'm going to add my pages in properly. I'm going to glue all these down. I'm going to prep my bits that I need back in. And I've cut the thing off this week because I want to add some lace or some other form of tie to these 3, because I've only got 3 of the tags this week. So I'm going to do that, and then I will come back and see where we are. Okay, so I've been working on this a little bit. I've done my tags, as I said, and I've put some lace trim on the top of there. And I did find that I'd got some tags left over from last week's as well that I might put in. So I've sewn my signature in because I'm probably not going to be adding to this one at all. I've made my list of pages that I want to add things to and what that might be. I've put my storyline in. I'll leave that as a journal page. I've put, where there's been pictures, I've put little pockets in. Whether I put anything in there, I don't know. Done the same to that one. And then on this one, I'm probably going to put a very thin pocket down here. But I'm unsure, so I'm only thinking of things at the moment. Same here. I'm probably going to put a pocket there because I can put quite a wide pocket, you know, about 2.5 inches. This is also a pocket here. So all I've done is I found the cards that marry up to the pictures on the pages, and I've just stuck those over the top. And then I've got to the middle. So we're actually halfway through. Now all I'm going to do with the sort of pages where I'm not doing much to is I could just put some ephemera there, you know, flat ephemera that I've cut out, which is what I may do yet, just to create a little bit of interest on those blank pages. So on the middle one, I've decided that I'm going to do something a little different. Now I did this in my detective lap book that I did a couple of years ago, and I was a beginner at the time. I was new to videoing, and I've actually re-watched it, and it did make me laugh because I was quite. It was, yeah, it was all over the place. But anyway, but I did those in my Jack the Ripper detective story, and it was a lap book. I followed Mandy at the time, and she did a Sherlock Holmes, and I did Jack the Ripper, and I did this in that lap book, and I thought it'd be great as an alternative to our middle pages. I know there's lots of people out there that like to do, you know, centre pieces. Now, I don't like to cover up my centrepiece, so I thought this would be a great idea. So I've done one in preparation, just to show you, and then I'll talk you through how we do that centre page. So what it is it's just an acetate flap so that we get to see that beautiful paper underneath. And it's just a little 2-inch pocket at the bottom that matches my pages, and that just slips in to hold anything that you want underneath. So we're going to go through that and do that today. So I'm going to leave that out. The other thing that I did do as well today, because I know that I'm going to need smaller pieces, is I printed all of the card pages 4 to a page. I didn't get 4 of them. I clicked 4 pages and printed it onto one page. So I've got those there, which may come in. They may not be useful, but I thought I'd do it anyway. So what we're going to need is I mean, your pages may be different to mine, so there's no real point in me doing, I'm probably going to need to cut that down. There probably is no real point in me giving you measurements for this, purely because your pages are going to be completely different size to mine, and you need to do them to your page size. So I know that my page is 5.5. So I wanted to leave a gap either side. So although this one's right to the edge here, it's because I put my pocket to the edge. So I made a mistake with my pocket. So, but I will show you how to do that so that you're not relying on your acetate. But you want to sort of get your acetate top to bottom and with a little gap either side of your page. And that's the size that you're going to need for your acetate. Now, this isn't real acetate. This is just a projector sheet. So an old school projector sheet, that's all that is. And it's perfectly sturdy enough for what we want it for. You're then going to need, whatever size your page is across, you're going to need a 2-inch piece that is scored in the middle that's going to go over the top like that. Okay. You're also going to need a 1-inch strip that's scored in the middle and fits on the bottom like so. Okay. And then you're going to need your pocket. Now you're going to need another just slightly shy of 1 inch because you're going to need to cover that up once it's that way. Once this is on, you're going to see this white. So we're just going to stick a piece on that is going to look like that. Okay. So let me just show you. So this is another piece that you need. So it's just shy of 1 inch because you don't want any white showing if you can help it. And we're going to stick that on as well. So you need those 3 pieces. So let's just go over that again. It's a 2-inch piece scored in the middle at whatever size across your acetate is. The next one is a 1-inch strip scored in the middle that fits along the bottom of your acetate. And then you're just shy, it's a hair shy of 1 inch that covers up your white patch on your acetate. Then you're going to need your pocket. So whatever size, however you do your pockets, so I need to match that to this, and that's going to go there. Okay. Then what I want to do is I want to fold in what's left. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter how much it is. You know, you're going to need to sort of mark where you want your score lines. So for instance, I'm matching that up there. And then what I want to do, I don't want to make the same mistake and make it too big on this side. So what I want to do is bring it over just a little bit. And I just want to mark just inside that page. And then on this side, I just want to mark where I want this one to be, leaving me enough to turn around because you need gussets on these pockets. And then the same with the bottom. I don't want to go too far down the bottom, but we'll just match it up when we've done it. So what you're going to do with your pocket piece is you're just going to score where you said those lines were. So how I do this is I line it up with my middle line so that I can get, that's why I have a black line here. It's so that when I haven't got, when I've got an odd measurement or whatever, I can put it inside this line and I know that I've got to score down to there. So I'm just going to do that. I'm going to turn this around. I'm going to line my line up on this side and then I'm going to score down there. And then I'm going to do the same on this one that I've marked on the bottom. So I'm just going to line that up, make sure that I've got it as flat as possible and all straight. And then I'm going to do that. So you'll end up, it is an odd measurement purely because of obviously the size of your papers. But don't worry about that. Then I'm just going to cut off the bolt from there on both of those ends. I am sorry about the prayers. It's Thursday evening and they get prepped, ready for Friday's prayers. So it goes off every few minutes. So this is the pocket now. So that's where I've got my pocket. So I've given this a bit more room at the bottom. In fact, I shouldn't have done. I want it to come as far down as possible because of the acetate. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come in a little bit on that mark there. Just 1/8 of an inch. I just want to, I just want that at the bottom to be a bit longer. I'm not going to worry too much about the other score line. It needs to be fairly close to the bottom, otherwise you'll have to cut your acetate down a little bit, but don't worry. So what we're going to do is we're going to line that up and we're going to get that glued on to there. So it's near enough down to the bottom now, and I've got plenty of room either side of that one, so that one's not going to go over. So I'm going to put my pocket on, so I'll need to ink. So just bear with me while I ink. It won't take a minute. I'm not going to notch these pockets either, because although they're pockets, it is a closure really. Okay, and then I'm just going to use a bit of collal so that I can manoeuvre it into place. And then I'll just manoeuvre that into place where I think that's got to go. So I want it to come down just a little bit on that side and just a little bit on that side. Now I don't, it needs to go up a little bit now. There we go. Okay, and I'll just press that into place. And then once that's dry, just make sure that I've not glued anything together. I need to let it dry really. Okay. And then once it's dry, I just need to make sure that my acetate is going to fit inside. And it's not, so I'm going to have to trim. So I just want to take that down just a little bit. Just shy. It wasn't by much, so I'm just going to take it slow and just an air off there and see if that'll fit. Because this is the pocket that it's going to be going into. It's not dry. I'm trying too hard. Now it's going to have, I'm going to have to take another little slither off that. Causing crafty lunches everywhere. I've got stuff everywhere at the moment. I had to do another collab today for Rach and Bella Crafts. And so I've got different projects everywhere and it's all collapsing around me. So yeah, that one's going to fit now. So that'll go in there nice and easy. Make sure it goes down to the bottom. I just need to lift it up because I can't see. Yeah, that's perfect. Okay, so if you want to, go ahead and put the first piece on, which is your bottom piece. Now I tend to use, when I'm using acetate, I tend to use tape, double-sided tape, and the only reason being is because it doesn't show as much as glue, and if you get squidging of the glue, it's way too late. So I always tend to use double-sided tape with this one. So what we're going to do is, we know that this part goes in at the bottom. This is the only issue that you've got. Now I've had to cut this down so it doesn't actually matter. It's getting it in the middle. It's getting it up to that centre line and getting it glued in as straight as possible without it causing any issues with your, your score line. Okay, I'm slightly off. It's not going to worry me. And then I'm just going to ink just around here. I should have inked the top. I think I did. I just want to do those edges because I've had to cut them. So that might be something you want to bear in mind, is the fact that the positioning of this is going to be upside down maybe, and you don't want that. So just bear in mind when you come to do it. So hopefully this now goes in the bottom. Oh, come on. Why isn't that going in? I don't know is the answer. It went in to start with. There we go. Has it gone in? It's open all the way down. So there we go. Okay, so then the top bit now, this gets glued to there. Now this is going to be too big. So I'm just going to cut that down to where I need it to be. That's about there. So that gets put onto there, like so. Yep. Just check I'm telling you right. Yeah, that goes on the back. That one gets popped onto the front of there. That gets popped on the back, and then you cover this part up. Okay, that's the way to do it. So you want to see which way you want your piece to face, because that's upside down. This is the right way. So you want to turn it round, and you want to put the front piece, the shiny piece, onto there. So we're going to take those pieces off. Take the tape off. In fact, I won't take it all off. It might be easier. I used to do this a while back because I used to use tape all the time, and especially because I was making photo albums, so I used to do a lot of matting, and we used to mat this way. So we'd get our mat in the right place where we wanted it, get that bit on, and then we'd pull these little by little to make sure that we got that on straight. That's not going to be straight. Let's show you how not to do it. There we go. I think that's better. And then we're just going to pull those off and pop that down there. Okay. Now I'm slightly over on this side, and I was on there, so I'm just going to make a quick alteration. And it is just literally a hair that I've got to take off, but it will make it look a lot better. Okay. Okay, that's literally all I've taken off. I don't think you can see, but that's all I've literally taken off is that hair there. Just to bring it into line, and then I can just take off this piece of cardboard here, because it's only where I didn't get it completely straight. Okay. So just so that you know that you can actually straighten it up. Then what we're going to do, did I cover that part? Just see. Yeah, you need another piece for that. Okay, so that's going to get glued on to there. There we go. Go it into your pocket and just glue that in situ. It will be way easier for you. And you're just gluing paper here, paper to paper. So, and then get that in situ right to the top of your page. There you go. And that will ensure that you get a flat, completely flat surface then. Okay, probably need to leave that to dry. Probably. Then what we need is this piece that's going to go over the top of there. And that needs cutting down now as well, because I've made alterations. So I'm just going to cut that off. Not that I can cut straight. I just need to ink that. I don't think I've inked it. And then, oops. So that's going to get glued down there, which is still paper, so we can do it this way. Like so. And then I just need to do 1 more inch piece for the top there. Got any more? Is that an inch? That's not an inch. I probably haven't got any more to match that. So I'll probably have to find another piece of card. Just bear with me just a second. I need it to be paper, don't I? So I need a strip that's going to be about an inch wide. Shame that wouldn't fit across. And I don't think I've got anything. Oh, I could use something like that though, couldn't I? Which is a piece of cut off. That would actually fit just about. I'm happy with that. Oh, pardon me, I'm happy with that. So I'm just going to cut off an inch and just make a hair, make it a hair shorter. I'm just going to ink that up. I think we could pop that there. So I'm just going to put some double-sided tape on the back. I need a new one. Here we go. Just because it's going on the acetate. Okay. Top and bottom. That's all we'll need. Just okay. Just take that off and take this one off. This is way stickier as well, this one. And then all we're going to do is you're just going to pop that in there. You don't want to go too far down to the spine because it will hinder the way it closes. Just fold that in. Okay, and there you have your acetate pockets on both sides. I wouldn't normally put 2 in, but I quite like the idea of it being a little bit different for that centrepiece. I do like a nice centrepiece. So you can just add, you know, I'd add stamps, numbers, or maybe a word or 2 here, just to let that pop. And I'm quite enjoying that. That's absolutely lovely. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope that's given you some thought for thought. And, you know, it's still kept us nice and flat, which is what I'm looking for this week. So I'm going to go and watch Mandy's videos and see what she's created this week that we need to put in the book, because I need to be able to make sure I've got room. So I'm sorry it's a shortish video today, but hopefully you'll have gained something from that and enjoyed it, and I will see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.